Before recording, cool.
Okay, so let's start. Um, okay, I think we did not prepare anything for this week, as far as I know. For next week, I need a volunteer who didn't talk to us yet. So it's
I
either
have something for today, Ron.
you have something for today. So go
Yeah, it
ahead.
was reducing the compilation time.
Okay. I thought okay. So you prepared for this week. Perfect. So let's do that. Let's talk about that, and afterward we'll do some kind of a sync. And I would love to get some volunteer for next week that would like to give us some general talk about something that is interested. So Atnas, go ahead.
All right.
I need to make you a presenter. I think you need to show the screen,
Okay.
right?
Yes, yeah, certain things.
Okay, so cool. So now you can.
Okay. What do you see? Do you see the?
We
I
see
have two
some kind
screens.
of terminal or whatever. I don't know what it is. Or a text
Okay, it's
editor, or it's a sticky note.
yeah, it's sticky. Okay, okay. So 2 weeks ago, I had to work on Chromecast, and I had this issue that every time I wanted to set up my project properly, I spent like hours. And during the weekend, I created this script, which I shared with everybody like 2 weeks ago, and it helped me a lot because it's just doing everything in a certain in the right order, and it's the same every time. So it reduces the chance of human error. But then I was wondering if I can reduce like the whole procedure with the checking out the repository and importing the project in Android Studio and then indexing whatever and running the code so that I can get the app launched on a test device. So I had a few ideas. Like I noticed that when we when we import the project and we launch Android Studio, we are using the Maven username and password. And currently we are copying and pasting this from another place, and it only takes about 10-20 seconds, but it's very annoying because it's manual work. So
Why do you,
what was
question? Sorry,
yeah,
Atlas, why do you copy paste?
sure.
Why you have two options basically. Why you don't set it in your permanent shell profile? This is what I do. So if so on I don't know which kind of shell you are using or anyone
Yeah,
either
yeah.
Fish or Bash, but if you can just export it and you don't need to copy paste. So
I'll explain why. So I'm doing this, yeah, but it doesn't import. Android Studio doesn't import the libraries, the variables, because it is started from X window and not from the shell. So the if you're using this, if you open it from the shell, it will use the variables. But if you open it from
understood.
applications,
It's another process. I understand, but it's not. I understand what you're saying. You need to check
yeah,
it. There is a way to some kind. There is a way
there
to
is.
avoid
You're
it.
right. You're right. There is. You need to make a change in Android Studio and import the variables from the environment.
Yeah.
It's
So can
yeah.
you show it
I
to
found.
us? Can you show us how you do
I
that?
think I think so. I'm doing it by
Yeah,
setting
just
it
running
in.
it from. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna run it. It's gonna take a long time. So I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna leave it to run. So it's just going. So it's removing this app Android folder, and it's also removing the caches. And now it should start like pulling the repositories and everything. And the Maven username and password should be there when this is done. Yeah, it will take quite a long time. Like it usually takes about 15 minutes if you're doing it for the first time, and you make a mistake. So my baseline was 14 minutes and 53 seconds. Yeah, but it's a bit unfair because sorry guys.
This you can also prevent.
Yeah,
You know?
I know it. I know it started doing it like 2 days ago, and I didn't fix it yet.
Check your SSH keys. It's something related to it. Your Git
Uh,
SSH keys.
yeah, I'll check that. Yeah, so my baseline is for 14 minutes and 53 seconds, but it's a bit unfair because I was doing some manual work, like copying and pasting. Like for example, if something fails, then I must close it, I must open it again. So realistically, the fastest I could get it was 12 minutes and 17 seconds, like with the current process, with the baseline process. And from then on, I had a few ideas. Like one of them was the modular thing. Actually, it was you mentioned around about the modular the modules. So I thought if I could remove certain modules that I don't need, I can reduce the import time and compilation time. And so I started there. Another idea is just to not use plugins. For example, if I don't need a particular analytics plugin or a player, possibly, I can just not import them. It should take less time, and it should be much less because these things are usually somewhere out there, like deployed on a server, and they need to download it, which takes like minutes sometimes, or well, at least tens of seconds. And after the plugins, I noticed that the project as it comes has classes that it possibly doesn't need, classes and layouts. So my final idea was to try to get rid of as many of these as possible in order to reduce the time further. So my project manager gave me the go-ahead to spend 4 hours on that, and I could only run a limited number of tests because, as you see, like it's taking 12 minutes to set this up, like to download everything.
Yeah.
And it's every time I need to check something, like I do it, and then another 15 minutes. So it's kind of tedious, but I'm actually happy because I managed to reduce the time to 9 minutes and 45 seconds of 54 seconds, which is kind of like more than 2 minutes less. So the first thing that I did was set user and password. That didn't have any significant impact. The next thing, I removed crossmates. And the problem with crossmates was that there was a tight coupling in the navigation utils. So what I did, I removed everything crossmates related from the navigation utils, and I'm using this local class. This reduced the getting the project on a device and running it with about a minute. It was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah. I don't like this. Ideally, like there shouldn't be tight coupling between
I agree.
classes like this. Yeah.
Why don't you just solve the decoupling? Or why you just don't decouple it? Like
That's what I did locally, but I don't know like crossmates. I even think we are not using crossmates on ProSieben, so I thought that I couldn't decouple it if I don't understand how crossmate works for every project. And
let's talk about it.
Okay.
Not now, I
Do you
mean.
want?
Not now, I mean after.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. There shouldn't be tight coupling. I just wanted to strip as much time as possible in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Crossmates is taking 10 seconds to pull. I didn't measure this git part. Yeah, pulling the git, and it's taking quite a lot. But I didn't measure it. I measure it since I start importing the project. So with pulling, if we are not using Crossmates, maybe we just ignore pulling it. It is taking 10 seconds, but the feed is actually taking about 50 seconds. This one.
Interesting.
Yeah. The next thing that I managed to do was to remove the achievement center. And it was a very nice module because there wasn't any tight coupling. And the moment I removed it in the Gradle files, it just compiled and ran without any issues. And I managed to reduce it to 954. So this is my achievement. The final thing I tried to remove was the feed, but there was a dependency, and it was a nasty one because it was in a style. A style was using something that was available through the feed module. This is why I left it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the case. So I think it's a base class, but we are not importing the module directly in the SDK or Android generic app or any other central place. But it's being imported in the feed, and then we are using it in Android generic app through the feed.
No, this is bad. But it's
Yeah.
very nice because no one ever done it. Check this kind of thing. So I'm really happy that you did it. It's a good. These are very good inputs and interesting one. At least to me. I don't know for the rest, but it's
Well,
to me it's very
thank
interesting.
you. I'm excited about this as well, except for when I had to do it because it was a bit tedious. But like, just imagine how we can bring it down. These are just two modules that I removed, and they're not even the biggest modules. And just imagine what we can achieve if we strip the project from everything that we don't need. Like it's a lot of it. I think it would be a lot of time if we can manage to get it down to 5 minutes. This is 15 minutes per developer, and I know that other developers are getting stuck sometimes as well. I even heard a rumor that the first developer spent 1 month setting up the project. And it's like if it's true, then it's crazy. Like I can say honestly that I spent, like, at one point I was spending 4 hours every day just to set up my project and start working. The thing is that when you import it into Android Studio, it is not deterministic. Sometimes Android Studio is importing it in the wrong way, and it like you need to start over. If you try to fix it, you get stuck. You get stuck, and you try to fix it when the best thing is just to
sometimes it happened to me when I don't run the
Okay, you
rate.
hear Pablo now that he's speaking?
yeah.
Okay.
It's silent, but yeah.
That it happened to me sometimes if I don't run the rake commands, one of them, it happened to me before.
Um, okay. Atnas, let me know when you finish. I have some questions and things that I wanna talk about
Well,
later.
this is really it. Like, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I did, and like, I managed to reduce the compilation time from 12 minutes and 17 seconds to 9 minutes and 45 seconds, 54 seconds.
So I have a
Yeah,
couple of questions related to it.
yeah.
Two comments, or let's start with one comment. First, I really want to talk to you about moving at least one part of your script into our prepare workspace script. So instead of
Okay.
having it in a separate one that someone needs to create a file and or download a file and whatever, because it's basic stuff that all of us need. So this is the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing, why are you every time deleting the cache or and removing the zap Android and cloning again? Why you are not just pulling,
So
checking
I
out
will
the
start with the
master and
caches.
pulling?
I will start with the caches. We had an issue with the Agop library, and like we had to create another version and upload it to BinTray. It was version 12 or 13, I don't remember. And we also had version 11 that
No, I
was in the
understand.
caches.
This I understand. What I'm saying is that if you ask me, what I would do is I will add to. Let's say we will move everything to the rake prepare workspace because it makes more sense to have it in one place. But what I'm saying
Yeah,
is, if I can steal your screen for 1 second,
yeah, absolutely.
and you're still alive, all the people there, because I seem to be very excited, and you are all very quiet. Because I think no,
No,
I
it's really
seriously,
cool.
I think it's super important. Imagine like two
Yeah,
days
yes,
ago,
of course.
2 days ago, I was trying to compile the project and I wanted to cry. It takes ages. And it wastes time like to die, you know, it's like 20 minutes every time you want to compile. So what I'm saying is if I will steal the screen 1 second, presenter. Okay, so if I'm here, so for example, Adnas, what two things. First, I don't understand why you need to clone every time the project. Let's forget about the caches. The cloning, I don't think it's necessary. You can do pull and then
Okay.
and then you save another 20, 30 seconds, which is nothing, but if you do it every time, it saves you a lot of time. And the second optimization that you can do is that you can pass arguments to the script. So for example, if I do, I don't know, prepare workspace, and then I can add a parameter minus minus delete cache, okay, for example,
Yeah,
and then I can decide if I want to delete or not, because not every time you are changing plugin version.
yeah,
Sometimes you
you're
are
right.
working, sometimes you are not working, and then it will save you much more time because every time that you clear the cache, you start from zero, and it's
Yeah, I know.
10 minutes. And if you don't delete the cache, it reduces your time. Another optimization that I think that could be done, which I'm always doing, is to run in the end of the process after the rake prepare workspace is done, to run a Gradle assemble debug.
Yeah, I
If you
was
run it,
actually,
if you run it from the command line, it takes much it's much faster than running it from the Android Studio, because Android Studio then starts doing indexing and run multiple tasks on parallel and all these kind of things. So if you all run it from the command line first and then you import it, it's already cached and everything, and it's much faster. This is
yeah,
another.
I was thinking about that, but I wasn't sure if it made any difference. So thank you. It's really useful.
But you need to have your Android home exported as well.
Yeah, well, this is
Sometimes
basic if
you
you ask
don't
me.
have it.
This stuff should be basic on installing the environment. But anyway, very interesting. And Atnas, let's talk after,
Just a
because
question. Just one question, please. What is delete cache? I didn't know that.
there is someone that has tons of noise behind him. So if this someone can mute himself, I don't know.
Maybe it's me. Sorry. Um, let me mute myself.
So I explain. Elad, you're here.
Yes, yes, of course.
So what's happening in Android Studio that you have dependencies that most of them are on Maven. So it doesn't well, it's supposed to when you change the Gradle file, but basically what it does, it's instead of, because in your build script you have the dependencies all the time, right? And if you have no cache, what it does, it will download again and again and again. And if you have the cache, it just not downloading, and there is also some part of the compilation that it saves. Like not everything that is compiled need to be recompiled, but if you delete the caches, it starts again all the time. So it's like cache files in the system. So if you
So
delete it,
why it's better to delete the cache?
that's what I'm saying. It's not better. It depends on what you need. If you,
Ah,
for
okay, okay,
example, if you
sababa.
have a, if
Okay,
you need to update your dependencies,
okay,
sometimes Android Studio, if you don't clear the cache, it doesn't update the dependencies. So if you change, I don't know, from support library 24 to 25, sometimes it doesn't update. So you need to delete cache. That's
thank
the
you.
reason. Cool. Thank you, Atanas, and let's talk later about how to improve the regular script of the prepare workspace.
Pleasure. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So before we start sync between the people, just one question that I wrote yesterday in the Android channel. Let's try to make our branches in all our projects clean. So if yesterday it was outrageous a little bit because, and even now we have like 10 branches here that some of them are over a month ago, so they're probably not relevant. There are some 4 months ago. Okay, so two things. First, if something is merged, it should be deleted. Okay, straight away. And don't leave, there's no need to leave traces of things that are merged. And second, if you don't use a branch, delete it because then it's not understandable what is needed and what is not needed. And then you can see branches 4 months ago that is probably irrelevant completely. So let's try to do some order there. And it's in all the projects. The second thing that I want to talk about is we removed pull approve, not from everything, but from Zap Android for sure. And because GitHub just created their own system of reviewing the code review. So if I'm going now to a pull request, okay, and I'm the reviewer of the pull request, instead of writing 100 and it will approve, so if I will go now here, sorry, you will see that review required. So it's impossible to merge it, okay? So the way to make it a review is it's at least one person should review it, and the way it works now with the new flow of GitHub that you can, oh sorry, you can just go, you need to start your review, doesn't matter, let's say I'm writing down some comment, and then I do start review, and it's pending. After I'm finishing reviewing everything, here I can leave a general comment and I can review, and two options that I have is either request changes, which is what needs to be done, or approved once it's approved. Once I will mark it as approved, you will see that once I mark it as approved, if I will go here, you will be able to see that this will change into a V. So it's instead of the pull approve logic that was given 100, now it's integrated into GitHub, so it's much better. And this is the way it should work. I did it only for Zap Android because this is the repository that I'm responsible for, but Sergey, maybe I think we should do that for everything. So I don't know if in the SDK it's this or
Don't we have it in the SDK as well?
I have no idea. I don't think so. No, here we only have Circle CI. So what we
Okay.
need to do is to change the repository definition, but I think it's much better. It's very nice and it's set by GitHub. An important thing that Pablo showed me yesterday, which makes sense, that once you approve, it's also true about pull approve, but once you approve a pull request, if someone is still doing changes, GitHub by default doesn't change it. so it will be approved anyway. So please make sure that after something is approved, merge it, and if you have anything else to approve, do it in another pull request, or don't approve till everything is done, these kind of things. But Sergey, let's talk about it and set all the repositories for working with this, because it's much better flow. It's like
Okay.
it sets a flow inside GitHub, so it's nice.
Yeah.
That's on my side. Two important things, and I'm finishing on my side, is please update first the Zapifest tool and the Drogon tool, which I don't know if you're using or not. I think only Sergey is using, but please update the Zapifest tool. You can see how to update in the repository of Zapifest, okay? Basically, you just need to do brew upgrade Zapifest. And please update it because it adds some stuff and it's adding some important additions. So try always, before you're publishing a new plugin, try to always run. Actually, this command is not needed because when you run brew upgrade, it automatically updates the brew. But please run this before you publish. Every time before you publish, make sure that you're updating this. That's on my side. Maybe one last thing, sorry, that I think that it's important, that I've been told that I'm not transparent enough and explaining everybody what we are working on in the infrastructure side, or maybe Sergey, I talked enough, so maybe Sergey, you can explain a little bit when it's your turn about the implementation that we are currently doing. Maybe you can also show a small demo.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so let's go one by one as quickly as we can because we only have half an hour, but let's start. So, Atnas, if you want to start, if you did something related to Android, go ahead.
Yes, actually, I was working on Android, and it was a pretty pleasant work because I was preparing a demo for the new navigation with tab bars. So I got the demo working, and I will start working on the plugin, on the navigation plugin. I also checked another player that we need to integrate for our client. I basically read the documentation and I have some code to test. So the next thing, I guess, will be to get some playable videos and test it. So that's me.
Atanas, one thing related to the navigation.
Yeah.
You are kind of the first person that is like kind of using the infrastructure of the root view controller.
Yeah.
It is what I'm asking you and also Sergey is to look at it in the eyes of a third-party developer, okay? In terms of the API. Atanas, I'm talking to you, okay?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
look at the
I'm
things
taking notes.
as a third-party developer and talk to Sergey and if needed to me, just because Sergey knows much better than me that everything that is related to it, but
Maybe Simon Borkin.
also Simon, yes. So talk to them because what I wanted, because this will be the first implementation of that will be using the infrastructure that the guys that we in the company built that is related to the navigation. So, and I know that there are parts that will require you to change things in our API, not in the API, but for example, you will need to add a new type of control of navigation in the, I don't remember if it's in the root controller SDK or in the Applicator SDK. So this, for example,
It is. Yeah, it
is a,
is. Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
So this is, for example, a problem. So I want to write down to and change this if possible on the way, so for the next implementation it will be easier and it will be simpler, so we can improve our APIs in order for because it's important to us to create some more navigations and we want to maybe outsource it. So I want to understand the difficulties in the API and suggestions of how improving it. So be sync with with Sergey, and I'm not saying Simon because Simon is doing some other stuff. So this is why it's you can consult with him, of course, because he was the one that wrote it. But let's try to. This will be a good try of also improving our APIs. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, Simon helped me a lot because we had this half an hour meeting and he walked me through the way it was implemented, the root activity manager on Android. And yeah, yes,
So
I'll
what
send you feedback.
exactly is not only to send feedback, but try to document your flow. And then after we will do some kind of a retro and understand what we can improve in this flow. Because for example, if tomorrow I want to create like 3 more navigation and I don't want anyone in Applicaster to do it, I want to outsource it. I need to understand what are the difficulties and I want to improve them. So it's a very important job to do that.
Understood.
For us to understand, and also if you can improve the API as well, because you are internal, you are not external. So if you can also on the way improve the API for it to be more simple, of course, along the way with Sergey and Simon and with whomever is needed, it will be great.
Yeah, I can be a tester.
Perfect.
This is a joke. This is a joke. But yeah,
Perfect.
I don't mind.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Elad?
Hi. So I'm working late online for the last week on few items. My last pull request is Comscore and Akamai had a bug with midrolls, so I fix it.
Why you are sad?
Um,
You sound sad. It's not good.
what?
You sound sad.
Ah, no, 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 no. Thank you. No, I'm not sad. I'm not sad. It's fine. Thank you. So I fixed this bug about Comscore and Akamai, and I set the remote plugin configuration. I'm waiting for review about that. I finished the screen views. It's merged today. And thank for Sergey. And that's it. Oh,
I have a question. What is the status of the plugin load? I don't remember where we are standing now.
I'm waiting for review. I went few days to Sergey, but I have a feeling that since we changing the pull approve flow, maybe I can ask more people. And I thought since Kariti was in the already look on this in the previous pull request, maybe he can review it right now. So I'm waiting for this.
Okay.
I'm waiting for review. I can Slack the pull request in our channel, and who's ever want to review is more than welcome, as I'm doing
I
right now.
suggest you do something more personal, and then maybe someone will take
Yeah,
the.
yeah, I'm trying. I have like 4 or 5 open pull requests the last week, so it's like this pull requests go to the back, and because I have more urgent pull requests, but yes, for sure, I always doing personally and reminding. And in general, I think it's very important to raise this issue right now. If someone have a pull request, it's very important to remind to the other side, hey, I'm waiting for you to do the pull request, and make sure that all the comment answers and and as you say right now, the personal point on pull request, it doesn't matter which flow, it's the most important. And more than that, I can say by doing that, I think the pull request it's the one of the most important things we have in the Applicaster that I find out because in that way, all the knowledge is transfers. Everybody see anyone else's job, so it's very important. And as you say, personally, it's very important. But if someone, anyhow, if someone want to review my pull request, it's in our channel.
Cool. Pablo?
Okay. Well, me, I've been working on simplification of fabs for customer. I kind of clean a couple of stuff on two templates that were using cells with padding, and then I clean it up, as I said, for using the dynamic list with the dividers, divided width and divided height, instead of padding the cell internally. I also work on the baby TV branch. I'm still testing it. I want to merge it with the Kagiri's presence so he can check anything that is wrong or is not the same as he did it in the dev branch. And also, I'm now taking a look to the initialization process when the uploads. There's a couple of when it fails for the ad providers or maybe the analytics providers or the language broadcaster is different from the current country. We as developers do not see in the logs or anywhere that these three parameters are wrong on the CMS. So sometimes you spend like some time trying to figure it out. Then I wanted to add some debug lines for this, very short. And well, regarding the talk of this morning, I just wanted to say that I increased the RAM
Yeah.
used.
Show it. I make you present. I think it's important. I wanted to ask you, but I see that perfect that you're saying it by yourself. So I wanted to show you because it also increases the process.
Right here. Okay. Here there's a one option on Nano Studio. It's called Edit Custom Built on Machine.
We don't see it. You're in a different place.
Oh, you don't see it?
I don't see your. We don't see your top bar.
Oh no.
Strange. No, I only see. It doesn't show the top of your screen. So okay, so just
Right.
say it and we will. Yeah.
There's an option. It's under the HUD menu that is called Edit Your Virtual Machine Parameters. There you can increase the amount of RAM.
Show it.
But
Show the file.
oh, okay. You at least can see the right now. No?
Yeah.
It's right here. This is the minimum. I set it up for 2 gigs, maximum up to 8 gigs. And then I increase also these two parameters that are related to internal cache used in the virtual machine for Android Studio, and it really improves the speed of the building process.
I really suggest to do that. You choose your own parameters,
Yeah.
but it increases a lot. It increases a
I
lot.
will post you a link about it on the Android channel. It explains exactly
Good.
how to do it and everything.
That's it for me.
Cool. So Sergey, you want to show us what you are working on?
Yeah. Okay, my presenter.
You're the last one, so you have 15 minutes. So
Okay, cool. Okay, so basically what I'm working on is the river template. You guys probably heard that we want to have like one JSON configuration for, well, right now it's for all of the screens. Later it will be different JSONs that will come from some Zap API. So
What we want to
basically
do,
what...
sorry, just to one sentence is, what we want to do basically is to make one implementation to all our content screens. So for the home screen, for the show screen, for the all shows, all these should use the same implementation. Currently, what we have is different activity or different fragment or different view for each screen. What we want to make is one configuration for all these screens. So we talked about it later, but I will just say one word. Currently, what we did is we kind of mapped all our apps, or let's say most of our apps, into different kind of components. So we have carousel, you have big item grid, small item grid, a big item list, small item list, HTML ticker, and web view. So we map all our apps, and what we're trying to do is from this mapping, it doesn't cover everything, but from this mapping, we are trying to build all our screens. So this is what is Sergey currently working on. Currently, it's something that is hard-coded in the JSONs, but the next phase of it is that it will be an API that comes from Zap that will simplify our JSONs, and we will have one JSON, well, we will have multiple JSON, one JSON for each screen that will include the layout of the screen, plus the data source that it needs to show. That's it, so you can continue.
Yeah, so what I was working on is having one JSON with all the different components that we have, and by right now it chooses if you have a collection for a specific component, then it shows that component, and if you don't have a collection, then this component won't appear in the screen.
Sorry, important thing just for them to understand. What we did is that we, Sergey, I cannot, I will steal the screen because it's not 100% clear. But what we did is we said that we have 8 components in specific order. And what we want to do is with hiding and showing them, we create our screen. So imagine that we have a set amount of component. I'm stealing your screen for 1 second, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Just to show this. So what we did, just to give you a sensation of the implementation. So for each screen, we have a set amount of components, okay? So we have, and this is the order, okay? We have a HTML ticker, under it a tab bar that will change the container below him. And if you don't choose a tab bar, you can choose a carousel, big item list, small item list, etc. And according if it has a collection or doesn't, it shows or doesn't show. And this is the mapping, okay? So if I want to show an HTML ticker, a carousel, and under it I want to show a web view, I just need to put this data sources and it will appear, or collections basically on Applicaster 2. And if I wanna show it, I put the data source. If I wanna hide it, I just don't put the data source. So this is what Sergey is explaining about hiding and showing. So according to the collection, if the collection has a specific, if the collection exists, if it has a data source for the component, it shows it or not. So Sergey, I'm giving you back the screen.
Yeah. Okay. So I have like a JSON for, I can show you guys. I have like a JSON for the river.
We currently see only your web, so if you want to show
Oh,
us.
you don't see my...
Now we see. Yeah, now we see.
Okay. So I have like these 2 JSONs, one for the tablet and one for the smartphone. that have all the components that now all the 8 components. Basically, there is like 2 ways to display. It displays it with a composite list, and there are 2 ways to display the river, or if it has tabs, or if it doesn't have the tabs. Like every screen in the tabs is a river by itself as well. Also, what I did was it will be here. It will be added to our repository soon. I enabled for us to have not only categories in the navigation menu items, but also collections. So we can have, like in the iOS, it was possible before. And you can see here.
Can you show us one of a tab and explain it, what's happening with the tab? Because it's just for the people to understand. And in the end, I will explain why you care about all these things.
Okay, like here, when I click on this item, it's an item that has the tabs. Here, somehow I see that there is problem here. Strange.
Everything that, just for you to understand, everything that is under the tab is a river by itself. It's the 8 component that, again, you hide and show. So basically, the game is that all the parts could be a collection inside a collection, and according to the configuration, it shows or hides. This basically should not be here, right? The tab should be on the top, right?
No, actually, I think there was a problem displaying this thing. I think
okay.
it should,
there is a component here. An image
probably. Something. Maybe I'm not sure. I think no, it's a carousel with this, but something happened.
Okay, so you take a look at it after, but doesn't matter.
Yeah. So basically, this is a river. This is a river. It's a bit slow, but
because of it's because of the emulator, right? Or it's
I don't know. Maybe too many threads running at the same time or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And here also. So basically, these are the 3 rivers that we have for every screen, and you can also see it like one of these screens. Oh, it's slow. Like if we have this screen, so this was like one of the tabs, and you can see it like this way as well. It's like this, and yeah, well, there is a problem here.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, that's it.
Okay, and I will finish and explaining why do you all care about it, because once we will have this implementation, it will make your life a little bit easier, because you won't need to implement any new template, and you can start, instead of customizing layouts, you will be able to start working more about features and adding new UI components and creating new, I don't know, whatever features, instead of customizing and creating new templates or modifying existing templates, because this should allow you to generate the apps. And after this will be implemented, we are planning to, like Sergey said, this will come from an API remotely, and the user will be able to generate his own layouts. So this is why it's important to each and every one. It will, instead of you customizing XMLs, you will be able to work on new components and new features, etc., etc. And I hope that in 1 month or so we will be able to show something that is good enough. Um, cool. That's it, I think. If anyone has anything to add. Okay. So thank you. I need a volunteer for next week. It could be also one that is not here now, but find a volunteer and please contact me like tomorrow or the day after so we can prepare something for next week. So thank you everybody, and I will publish this video soon and I will let you know. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.